You worked hard on an assignment and feel great about your work. But when you get your grade, disappointment sets in. On your assignment is a note from the professor that you need to try and use quality sources of information. What? Where did you go wrong? Let's trace your steps. You got the assignment, and then you immediately went to Google to find information. Let's face it, information is usually not hard to find. You can go to Google and find something on almost any topic. Your professor said you could use resources from the internet, so this step makes sense. Yep, you got results, and those results looked good, so you used them in your paper. Next, you knew that you were supposed to include something from the library, so you go to the library databases. You pick a database that looks like it might have information on your topic and run a search. Voila! You found a few results that look like they are on your topic and decide to include them in your paper. So, what went wrong? Let's look at this one more time. First, let's talk about the basics. Whenever you are choosing to include information from a source in an assignment, you need to consider audience. For whom is the source intended? Accuracy. Is the information on the source correct? Credibility. Is the author an expert in this field? Point of view, or where the author is coming from. Currency. Is the information up to date or stale? First, audience. Why the item was put on the internet and whom was it intended? Your answer should not be that the article is meant for anyone who can read and find the information. Ask yourself if this was written for children.
Anyone?
The general public, academics, etc.
Anyone?
How simple or technical is the language? How deep is the coverage?
And off of one of these is a hydrogen atom.
You don't want to use a source written for children in a college-level assignment.
Do you like exploring?
Next, accuracy. Is the information in the source correct? Is the information viable and reliable?
Can you come home, please, right away? No, the baby's all right. It's the Martians. Yes, Martians.
Red flags that there may be problems include a lack of footnotes or citations to source material, or citations to sources that do not exist or maybe are not credible. Also check to see if the information is very different from information found in other reliable sources. In other words, is the source out to left field?
Two to Craig. Well hit to left. It's deep. And it's gone.
Credibility. Who is the author or publisher of the information? Does the author really know what they are talking about? You might be surprised to find that they do not. Check out the author's credentials. With the internet and self-publishing, almost anyone can produce anything and claim to be an expert. You should also check to see what else the author has written or what other people have said about this particular author. Point of view. Why did the author create this piece of information?
This car is for you. Now let me guess.
Is it meant to inform, entertain, or persuade? Is the author trying to promote their ideas about something or those of a particular group?
We need a car so we can go rock climbing.
Rock climbing? Why would anybody go climb a rock?
Is it factual information or an interpretation of facts? Bias may be blatantly obvious or hidden. If there is bias, you need to recognize it and adjust your usage of the source accordingly. For example, you might need to show the other side of the issue. Finally, currency. Is the information up to date? Sometimes this is very important, and sometimes it is not. You need to look at your topic and decide whether the information is stale or no longer useful. Now we need to talk about items you find on the internet. The problem with items found using Google is that you have to do a thorough review of the research results to make sure you have sources that are credible and appropriate for a college assignment. If you fail to research the sources you find on the internet, you might crash and burn. Okay, what do you do to make sure you have a source of information you can use? Check out the website thoroughly. You have to be the Sherlock Holmes of the internet. That means you need to snoop around the entire website looking for clues. Look at the URL. Is this a blog, government publication, or something else? Is there an About Us section on the website that tells you about who put the item on the web? This is a good time to think about the possibility of bias. Check the page to see if there is a specific author. Are their credentials listed? In addition to checking the age of the article, check the last updated information. Check on any and all links to footnotes and citations. Now you have to also check these sources. Yes, you are not just searching the website you are looking at. You're going to have to search the internet to find out more information about your website. In addition to researching the linked footnotes and sites, you need to check the reputation of the entity that put the item on the web, the author, and the information. Google the author. Are they a real person or a joke? What is their bias, expertise, etc.? Google the organization that put the article or website on the internet. Who are they and what do others say about them? Google the article. What are others saying about it? Now put all the information you gathered together. Do you now trust the information that you found?
If yes, and it looks credible and appropriate, then go ahead and use the resource.
If no, look for something else to use for your assignment. Okay, you not only searched the internet, you also searched the library databases. What could possibly go wrong with something you got from a library database? Well, it is easier to find credible and reliable information on the library databases, but not everything in the library is scholarly or appropriate for a college-level assignment. You knew this, and you used the database limiters to restrict the search results to only items found in scholarly journals. You get your results and use a couple that are on your topic. Whoa, not so fast. Not everything that is published in a scholarly journal is a scholarly article. Wait a minute, that's simply not fair. What type of work do you need to do to make sure that information found in a library database and published in a scholarly journal is scholarly? Remember the list of things you had to go through to evaluate the items? Well, you need to use the same list. Let's say you found a book review of a book that is on your topic. The book review is great. It is several pages long and talks about one of the points you want to make in your paper. But a book review is not what you're after. While a book review in a scholarly journal is intended to be read by scholars, the purpose is to help scholars decide whether they want to read the book. In other words, a book review is not a scholarly article. What you should do when you find a book review on your topic is to get the book and use it in your assignment. Evaluating sources takes work, but you can do it. Always carefully review and evaluate each piece of information before you use it. Remember, if you have any questions, the librarians at Baker University are here to help.